Good evening, everybody. How's everyone doing tonight? Welcome to Mentor Public Library. My name is Stephanie Paganini, and I am one of the adult reference librarians here at the library. I do want to introduce our speaker tonight. We love when we get to bring to you information from professionals and experts in the field. And we feel very lucky tonight to be able to present to you Melanie Jatsek, who is the Chief Dietitian for the Heinen stores. You may remember we know Heinen's is our local supermarket, but they are actually a national company, and she does her work nationally for the stores in Chicago as well. She will be presenting to you all about the wonderful superfoods in powder form and other ways. So thank you, Melanie.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So I'm so happy to be here and just really to talk about food. That is just such a passion for me, and obviously from the looks of this room, it is a passion for all of you, because who doesn't want to learn more about food, more about small, simple ways that they can, tweak their diet to improve their health. Today, we're talking about the mystery of these things called functional food powders. And I say the mystery because, well, first of all, how many of you are Heinen's shoppers? Whoa, this is an awesome group. I love Mentor. Are you all shopping at the Mentor Heinen's or? Chardon, Mentor, okay. So Heinen's has wellness consultants in all of our stores. So those of you who don't shop Heinen's, which I don't know if I saw one hand that was down, but if you haven't gone to our wellness department, that is where you would find what I'm going to talk about today, these functional food powders. So all of our stores, with the exception of our downtown store and our Chagrin Falls store, have a certified wellness consultant there to help you make better choices. If you're interested, they don't seek you out in the grocery store and check your cart. No, they're going to do that. But yeah, I know. Oh my gosh, we wouldn't have any customers if we did that. Could you imagine? So where the wellness department is where the supplements are and the protein powders and all these fun. And they're typically by our produce department, which is the right place for it. But these wellness consultants are certified by myself and Dr. Todd Pesic, and they are very versed in helping you to figure out what supplements to use if you're interested to improve your health, and it will even take you on a store tour to show you which foods are best for your particular needs. So they're in it. This is a free service, right? So it's worth stopping by and sending, getting to know your wellness consultant, introducing yourself. And our wellness consultants at your Mentor store are Lily in the back. So Lily, raise your hand. And Bob, who's not here today. And Mary Alice, I should introduce Mary Alice. She is our wellness merchandiser for Heinen. So she's responsible for working with the wellness consultants, setting up the beautiful wellness departments and everything under the sun. Her job description is, and other duties as assigned, because I swear she does 1,000,001 things. So this is where you'd find these powders. And I say mystery because when I first started with Heinen's, now mind you, I was a dietitian at that time, but when I started, I was like, what in the world are these things? They're scary looking to me. What will they do to me? How do I use them? And do I even need them? I mean, it can be overwhelming when you go through our wellness department or any wellness department, whether it's Whole Foods or wherever, and you see all these things and you're like, do I need this? Or what about these supplements? Which ones do I need? And that's the beauty of having a wellness consultant, but also why I wanted to come here today and share with you what to do with these things. Do you need them? How to use them? And how can they benefit your health? So that's what we're going to talk about today. But before I get into the 10, now there's more than 10 that we have in our stores, but the 10 here I picked out for a reason because I think they're some of the most powerful. But before I talk about those, I have to talk about the subject of resiliency. So when you think about resiliency, how many of you think about it in terms of your body? Just a couple hands went up. Every one of you in this room is built for resiliency. It's right in the definition. The definition of resiliency is to spring back into shape. Elasticity, right? So I don't care where you're at on the spectrum of health, whether you have poor health, or you are like what I call Navy SEAL health. You've got it figured out and you're perfect. Every single one of you has this seed. I like to think of it as a seed of well-being inside of you. And as a seed, typically doesn't sprout unless it's nurtured, right? It can remain dormant forever if we're not properly caring for it. in the terms of a plant, you need to give it oxygen and you need to give it water and light, right? When we think about that seed of well-being inside of us, that represents resiliency. And so small little things that you will do in your life. Now, I'm not talking about starting where you're at now and changing it 180 degrees, because we know that doesn't work. It doesn't last. I've learned in my now almost 25 years as being a dietitian, you don't mess with people's food. That is one thing that if you want to fight, then you start taking people's food, their favorite things away. It doesn't work. So what I like to share is just picking out one or two little things you can do and do that repetitively every day. And the more you do these things, whether it's diet, whether it's sleep, whether it's drinking more water, whatever those little habits are, you repeat them on a daily basis and it starts to, evidence of better health starts to appear. And the perfect experience, example of this experience is, think about January 1st, right? When most people are like, yep, cleaning out the cupboards, going to the gym, doing all this stuff, and you make some changes and you do it really rapidly, but you start to feel better, right? You might sleep better, you might notice your skin's improving. It's because your body's saying, yes, I like this, give me more. But again, we just try to throw it all in and do it all, and it just doesn't last. So I'm just here to tell you that it doesn't take much. Simple tweak in the right direction, repeating that to start seeing that seed of well-being sprout. And it will, I promise you, if you do it enough and then you add to it. And so with that being said, if you subside on McDonald's and Dairy Queen and all that stuff, and you just say, I'm just going to add some functional food powder to those French fries, you're wasting your money, right? Just like you can't supplement your way out of a poor diet, you can't layer these powders on top of your food and expect it to make a difference. You got to just start making changes in other areas slowly, and then those things can actually help. So what are functional foods? They are foods that offer specific functionality above and beyond their nutritional value, right? So specific functionality to enhance your health and well-being. And you need them, and you don't necessarily need these things, but they can help in very small doses to support better health. Teaspoon, right? We're not talking volumes like greens and things like that, teaspoon worth. And so when we think about functional foods, they are like herbs, spices, fermented foods, mushrooms. Functional food powders are literally fruits, vegetables, herbs, spices, mushrooms that are dehydrated into a powdered form, right? And so because they're dehydrated, they're ultra concentrated in nutrition and nutrient value, so you only need a small amount. So when you go to the store and you shop at Heinen's and you see these, and you're like, okay, astragalus powder, gosh, it's like 25 bucks. These are between 25 and 30 bucks. But, so let me share with turmeric, the turmeric powder, and I'll talk about each of these powders. One scoop is a serving, and the little scoop comes in the container. There's 114 servings in this container, so you get a lot out of that. So how I want you to think about these powders is like a supplement. So they're a supplement to kind of bridge or fill in nutritional gaps, or to use as a solution for a desired result. Let's say you have joint pain, or you have immune function issues, or you want a healthier heart or better blood sugar. That's where you would implement these in. Just think about what the need is, and then you can start adding these. You don't need them all, and so I'll share with you, and I'll go by what the benefit of each of these, and then talk about the different powders. How many of you, so you're Heinen shoppers, how many of you are familiar with our Club FX program? Yay, okay, great. So you probably get that annoying email every Monday from me, okay, sorry. Hope you enjoyed them. So Heinen's Club FX program, we have 7 Club FX pillars. So if that sounds familiar to you, it may or may not, but these pillars are general eating guidelines under the Club FX umbrella that are just used to support better health. Now, when we say Club FX, what Club FX really means is FX instead of RX. So RX is prescription drugs, right? FX is using food as your medicine. And these are part of our pillar number 6, which is our pillar 6 is remember functional foods, fresh herbs, fermented foods, mushrooms. That's one of the things that we recommend adding Maybe not in a powdered form, maybe you just like fresh parsley or fresh cilantro or fresh basil. I mean, herbs, spices, those things are super, super powerful. So just kind of want to show you where this falls in the context of the Club FX program is the sixth pillar. And there are 7 pillars, and they should all be in the brochure, right? Club FX pillars are all in the brochure in your bag, so there's lots of goodies in there, and I'll go through what's in the bag as I'm moving along here. Let's talk about joint health, pain. Inflammation. Anybody have that? Aches, pains, My husband and I just got back from a vacation from Tennessee, and we drove 8 hours in the car. You're like, okay, I could do this. You get out every couple of hours, use the restroom. For me, it's every hour. Use the restroom. And when you get out of the car, what's the first thing you do? You're like, oh, wow, I was only sitting an hour. Turmeric. When we think of joint pain, or inflammation, arthritis, turmeric is one of the most widely studied superfoods, functional food powders that you can find. And the active compound in turmeric is curcumin, right? So that's what gives this the benefit, helps to reduce inflammation, reduce joint pain. And so what do you do with this? So I'm going to go through each of these, but when I share food ideas, meal ideas, you can use these interchangeably. You're going to hear me say smoothie 1,000,001 times before 7 o'clock because I love smoothies and it's the easiest way to get these powders in, but there are other solutions as well, other meal ideas. But so turmeric, what you can do, and you have it in your little tote bag there, there's a simple smoothie recipe, very easy. It uses turmeric powder, and it's called the Golden Hour Smoothie. Frozen pineapple, frozen mango, unsweetened nut milk, turmeric, frozen carrots. So you get some vegetables in here, a little bit of flax meal, and a scoop of protein powder. Blend that up, and you could have that for lunch or for breakfast, but that's an easy way to get a powder in. I will tell you, my smoothies, when I started out, years and years ago, they were no better than a McDonald's milkshake, hand to God. I mean, they were horrible. There was zero nutrition. They were really good, but they were like a milkshake, right? And then as I got older and things started going sideways, like maybe I ought to use these smoothies as an opportunity to put some real good nutrition in them. So right now, based on what my desire is, what I want out of my food, I want a boosted immune system. I want decreased inflammation. I want balanced blood sugar. So I actually add a scoop of a couple of these, actually 3 or 4 of these in my smoothies, and I do that every day, and I feel amazing. Not that, again, these aren't going to just be the solution to all your ailments, but this is how you can fit it in really easy in a smoothie. So another way you can get turmeric. Now, by the way, what turmeric is, it's in our produce department. That's what it looks like. It's in a bin, or sometimes they're in individual clamshells. I used to think these were a mistake that fell off the produce cart. I never knew what these were until I found them. Like, oh my God, this is like one of the most valuable things in our produce department. So turmeric itself, you could add some of this to a smoothie. You just take a hunk of it off and throw it in a smoothie and blend. It works best when it's combined with black pepper. So this turmeric, the turmeric complex by Bare Organics, which by the way, Bare Organics is a line that we sell of superfood powders. And the good thing about Bare Organics is they're organic, they're non-GMO, they're vegan, they're gluten-free, and they're raw, which means these have not been heated above 118 degrees, which means all of the nutrients in here and all the beneficial compounds are intact. So that's the benefit of raw. So this is the real deal, right? But you can get it in powdered form. And we also sell, I don't know how many of you have seen these in our produce department cooler by the orange juice. Heinen sells now these little superfood shots. And they're itty bitty, and you probably walked right by them, but these are pretty much brand new, and we have a ginger and turmeric juice shot. So these are just like literally shots. There's no alcohol in it. It's just kind of a nerdy shot, that you can take if you're having some joint pain and you don't want to do the whole powder thing. They're very reasonably priced, and it's just an easy way to kind of get in some turmeric and ginger as well. So that's joint pain. Next, we're going to talk about brain health. Whether it's trying to decrease brain fog, you just want a sharper brain, whether it's warding off dementia or Alzheimer's, maybe that runs in the family, or maybe you're concerned about your memory. Mushroom powder is super, super powerful for the brain, as well as turmeric. So a lot of these are going to have cross benefits. So just when I talk about a main benefit, there are also multiple benefits to these. And so mushroom powder, we sell different types of mushroom powder in our wellness department, but to stay in line with the Bare Organics, Mushroom Memory is the one I chose to feature here. This is actually in, how many of you have tried the veggies with your hummus? Okay, so the hummus has Mushroom Memory mixed inside of it. You probably didn't taste it, right? So it's an easy way to use this mushroom powder. You could mix it with guacamole, you can mix it with hummus, and then you could use it as a veggie dip. You could put it in a smoothie, right? But the different ways to use it very easily blends into things that aren't cooked. So why this particular mushroom powder, or any mushroom powder that has lion's mane in it. Lion's mane is a mushroom, and it's called such because if you've ever seen one, it looks like a lion's mane. It's like a pom-pom kind of mushroom, and it's kind of cool looking. But lion's mane is super important for brain health because it stimulates what's called NGF, which is nerve growth factor. And nerve growth factor is a protein that helps to enhance the functioning of your brain cells, which is important for cognitive development, neurological development. So anytime you see lion's mane for the brain, that's one you're going to want if brain health, or you're just trying to get the fuzzies out of your brain. It's a really good powder to use. And again, turmeric. So what we hear about turmeric, did you know that in India, the rates of Alzheimer's disease and dementia are markedly lower than they are in the United States? Why do you think that is? They use turmeric on a daily basis. And I'm sure there's differences in their lifestyles compared to ours, but this is a staple in their diet. Now, they're not using Bare Organics powder. I mean, they're using the real thing. They're cooking with it. They're doing all kinds of stuff, but curcumin is a daily staple in their diet. So there's something to be said for that, and it's not going to hurt you. So, I mean, it's a benefit, but for brain health. Another way to get mushrooms in your diet, we have a really, if I do say so myself, we have a really good nutrition bar section. Very versatile. There's a lot of garbage in there. I'm sorry it's on camera, but we do. We are a grocery store. I have to remember that. We still sell Lucky Charms. So, I mean, I can't, if I had my way, nobody would probably shop there. But our nutrition bars are very versatile. And so what we have, these two different bars. One's a new bar that's called Balanced Tiger. And the other one, and you all have this in your bag, called the Wise Bar. Both of these have mushroom powder incorporated into the recipe. So you're getting a good mushroom supplement in a powder, in a bar. And so what I like to do with these, like if I'm gonna have a bar, I will add this to a meal. So like let's say I'm having lunch on the go. I'll have a bar like these. They're low sugar, they're very nutritious. A bar like this, with some veggies, some fruit. I can eat this on the go. I don't really promote eating in the car, but I do it, so I'm not gonna lie. But this is a really easy meal replacement, but you're also gonna add, this isn't just enough for a meal. It's kind of small for a meal. I mean, so you'd wanna pair it with something else, but that's how, or a snack, you could use this as a snack, so just so you know that this is a source of mushroom. Okay, next we have blood sugar. So this is a big one. I can't remember. I just listened to a podcast the other day and talked about the percentages of diabetes. I think there's like 50% or more of the population is either pre-diabetic or diabetic. Now, just adding a functional food powder to your diet isn't going to wipe away diabetes, but there is a powder called moringa. This is one of them that I add to my smoothie. Anybody have any experience with moringa powder? No? Okay, so this one's interesting. So it is from the Middle East. It's a plant from the Middle East, and the studies have shown that it can help balance blood sugar, help lower blood sugar in the context of a healthy diet, right? So I always have to keep putting that disclaimer out there, but adding this to a smoothie, sprinkling it over a salad or in a yogurt is a great way to get good balanced blood sugar. Or Mary Alice and Lily made up some of the homemade chocolate moringa powder granola. You have the recipe here. So when people say, well, what do I do with these? You can make granola, and you've got a little sample of it in your bag. I don't really like the picture here because it's saying, okay, take the whole thing of granola, put it in a bowl and put milk over it. Now, I probably wouldn't use it like that. I would use it more like a garnish. So like think about stirring it into yogurt. Even if you're looking for, sometimes people will put like sugared pecans on their salad. Put some of the granola on top of the salad. Give it a little bit of sweet crunch or just a handful as a snack. But you're going to get the moringa in that with this recipe. You could do other things with it. You could whisk it in homemade salad dressing. I mean, you could anything that you could use to stir it into sauces even, or again smoothies. So yeah, moringa is really good for your blood sugar. Next we have detoxification. That's a scary word. Typically when people think of a detox or a cleanse, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be on the toilet all day. Could be, but those aren't the kind of detoxes that I recommend. How fun is that? That's not fun. So in the health field, you have some health practitioners that recommend doing a quarterly cleanse, right? Fall, spring, winter, summer, doing a cleanse. So what does that mean? That could mean doing a juice cleanse and then doing a fast and drinking special juices. And that's all well and good as long as it's supervised and you know what you're doing, because it can be kind of messy, really messy in more than one way. But I take more of a conservative approach. I think, why not do a daily cleanse? A daily light cleanse by feeding my body certain foods that naturally cleanse the body. So that's where you get, fibers naturally cleanse the body. Fruits and vegetables naturally cleanse the body. In terms of these powders, we've got two, spirulina and chlorella. Now, spirulina, this is a blue-green algae. It is 3.5 billion years old, not this container. But spirulina itself is 3.5 billion years old, and it is one of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet. So this blue-green algae is high in chlorophyll, high in protein, just for this little powder, high in protein, trace minerals, vitamins, antioxidants, and omega-3s. So when we think of omega-3s, we usually think of fish, flax seeds or hemp seeds or chia seeds. But algae is a natural source of these omega-3s, and why omega-3s are important is they're an anti-inflammatory fat, very important for brain health, very important for decreasing levels of inflammation in the body, and you can get it in spirulina and its close cousin, chlorella. This is cracked cell wall chlorella, which is a single cell green algae found in fresh waters, high in antioxidants, high in omega-3s. So this is another really good. So I put actually both of these because one big goal of mine is just doing a daily cleanse, daily detox, and these are amazing at detoxing the body. I just do, I do one of each. By the way, this just tickles me to death. So they created these containers to serve as storage containers once you empty the container. So the little sticker comes off really easily. You wash them off. They are dishwasher safe, freezer safe, BPA free. So not that you'd spend $25 to get a container, but it's just a nice little bonus. You're like, ooh, I have an extra container. Who couldn't use an extra container? So yeah, just wanted to not forget to say that to you, that they double up. I've thrown many of them away until our rep for Bare Organic said, did you know you could peel that off? And so I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, so now I have tons of these in my cabinet. So yeah, good for detox. How about energy? Oh, so how do we use these? Well, you could use them any which way, but if you have a sweet tooth at night like I do, I always like something sweet after dinner, and sometimes it's chocolate, and you can get in trouble with cookies depending on what kind. My husband has no problem. He's like, sometimes I just want to snack them, because he's the guy that can open up a container of cookies or chips and just take one, then close it up and put it back completely set. I know, right? It's just not fair. I can't do that, so I don't buy them. Instead, no-bake energy bites or no-bake energy balls. I make these, takes about 5 minutes. So it has a bunch of different ingredients like almond butter, a little bit of honey, coconut oil, rolled oats, pumpkin seeds, flax seeds. It's got a little bit of spirulina powder in it. You mix it up in a bowl, put some dark chocolate cacao chips in that, our equal exchange chocolate chips. Roll them up into little balls, stick them in the refrigerator or freezer, and then when you have a sweet tooth after dinner, pop one in your mouth, no damage done. And you can get some of these functional foods. You can do this with any powder, but spirulina is one that you kind of want to mix with something that's a little sweeter, because it kind of has a, I'm really selling this, it kind of has like a swampy smell to it. How many of you are going to run out and buy some spirulina? It's because it's algae, right? So if you smell it, it's kind of swampy. So when you mix it with something that's sweeter, you can't taste that or smell it. So I would recommend the Energy Bite recipe, or any kind. You could add this to any favorite energy ball recipe that you might have. So now we have energy, right? So I'm one that gets like the 2 o'clock slump, 2, 3 o'clock. I'm like, I could just take a nap. Coffee doesn't really do it for me because then it keeps me up. So wheatgrass is one of the most powerful energizers that you can find in a functional food form. We also sell wheatgrass, again, these cute little juice shots that we have. It's a cold pressed wheatgrass juice shot. So instead of your PM coffee, this will give you a little pick-me-up without the jittery side effects of coffee. These are housed in the same area as the others. But when we talk about wheatgrass, a lot of people who may be following like a gluten-free diet or might be gluten sensitive or celiac disease think about wheatgrass and they say, oh my God, it's probably glutinous, right? Because it has wheat. Well, it's from the wheat plant, but it is the green sprout, the grass that grows off of the top of the actual wheat. So the grain of wheat on the bottom, that's what's used and milled for flours and for all of the wheat-based products, crackers, cereals, pastas, and all that. The sprout on the top, wheat grass, is totally gluten-free and loaded with B vitamins. You may have heard B vitamins give you energy. Loaded with B vitamins, also loaded with vitamin C. So 1 scoop of this, 1 teaspoon actually, 1 measuring teaspoon will give you about 83% of your vitamin C needs for the day. So in addition to it being an energizer, it's good for the immune system as well. So typically with wheatgrass, if you don't do it in a smoothie, what I like to do is I make my own salad dressing with just extra virgin olive oil, a little bit of Bragg's apple cider vinegar, and I'll stir in a little bit of wheatgrass to that and just drizzle it over my already green salad. So it's green and it's green. It's not like, I get it, we eat with our eyes. So sometimes if you have a green drink, kind of like what I'm drinking over here, it's not very appetizing looking. It's not very appetizing, just to let you know. I drink this for the nutrition, not for the taste. But when you've got wheatgrass, you could sprinkle it, whisk it in your salad dressing, and that's a good way to get a salad in every day, right? So you're kind of layering here. You're doing a daily salad, a little bit of wheatgrass mixed in with the salad dressing, and you've got a layered benefits there. So that's our wheatgrass. That's our energizer. Now, I know no one here has issues with stress, right? Stress-free people, right? So we're never going to get rid of it, right? Stress is part of our life. We are never going to get rid of it, but it's how we cope with it that makes the difference, right? So especially, I don't know, lately, this is like a low-level anxiety, just election time and all this crazy stuff going on, hurricanes, everything. There's so much stress out there. But so what I like to think of before I talk about supplements is, what about our lifestyle habits? Are they promoting stress? Are they adding fuel to the fire? Are they helping to kind of relieve us? And that's where you got to kind of get in front of the stress, right? Because it's going to be there waiting for you. It's how you manage it, how you meet that day. So stress relief. A lot of people don't equate adequate sleep to stress relief, but how many of you are happy-go-lucky and able to deal with stress when you're sleep deprived? I mean, I can't handle anything. I'm like a 2-year-old, throwing a fit in the grocery store aisle. I can't reason. I have absolutely no patience, and the stress is multiplied. So adequate sleep is so important for that, and also how you start your day. How you start your day is how it's going to unfold. So if you start it like my husband does, rolling onto bed, does this thing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't. I have this whole process. I get up, I have my coffee. I get up really early because I have to have this process to make sure my day goes right. Get up, make my coffee, read my Bible, do a little bit of prayer, and as I start this day like this, and then if somebody cuts me off on the freeway, I'm not gonna be freaking like I probably would have had I just rolled out of bed and left. So you gotta get out in front of that and make purposeful habits throughout the day to get in front of the stress. And once you do that, there are powders, functional food powders like, and this is a scary one, ashwagandha. Ashwagandha powder, this is what they call Indian ginseng. And it's an adaptogenic, ashwagandha is an adaptogenic herb, which what it does, that means is that it helps to support your body's natural response to stress. So you're going to have it, but it kind of works its way, and it works its way in your body to help you kind of manage the stress that's going to be part of your life. So what do you do with ashwagandha? Well, you can do many things with it, but if you're looking for a way to get it in bar form, the Wise bars, which you have in your bag, these have not only the mushrooms, but they also have ashwagandha in them. Yeah, so that's a nice little, so a lot of supplements. One of my favorite probiotics that I take has ashwagandha in it, and it's a game changer. It's a game changer. Like I noticed after taking it for about a month, I've been taking it for years, but after taking it for about a month, I wasn't getting as agitated in traffic. Like, what's wrong with me? Like, I don't care anymore? It just kind of takes the edge off. It doesn't make you feel loopy or anything like that, but it just kind of chills you out a little bit. So, and this is an easy way to take it in the powdered form here. So how about heart health? Heart health, cholesterol, blood pressure, these are all related to heart health. And one of the master powders and master foods for heart health is beetroot. Beets in general, beetroot powder, and also moringa powder, kind of doubles for blood sugar and heart health. Now, beetroot powder, this comes from beets, right? Cooked, dehydrated, raw, in powdered form. It's a beautiful color. Why beets are so impressive for heart health is they have this phytochemical called betaines, and betaines are what gives the beet that really beautiful red, vibrant color. And it also helps to increase the nitric oxide production in your body, which helps to improve blood flow, which can lower blood pressure. It can also, because it forces oxygen into the blood, it can help with energy. So this can do two things. Gives you energy and helps with exercise performance, more oxygen flowing through the body. So beetroot powder, this is so beautiful to add to bland colors. So like yogurts that are just white, oatmeal, stir a little bit of this in there. And beets are sort of sweet in a powdered form, so it's kind of grassy tasting because beets are beets, right? It's still going to have that flavor, but it gives a really nice color, and it's 2 teaspoons is a serving here, and there are about 38 servings per container. So if you're looking to have benefit in blood pressure and heart health, beetroot powder is great. I don't add the powder to my smoothies. I actually add raw beets right to my smoothies. I cut them up, slice them up, and just throw about 4 or 5 hunks in my smoothie and blend it up. I have a Vitamix. You'd need a Vitamix for all the stuff I put in my smoothie, but yeah, so instead of doing the powder, I just do the fresh to get that benefit of good heart health. Talked about moringa powder. Moringa with heart health, studies have shown that it can help to lower the LDL cholesterol, which is what they call the bad cholesterol, and more importantly, raise that HDL cholesterol in the context of a healthy diet. So there's another bonus there. So 2 more. Now we've got hormonal health and stamina. So maca is an interesting powder because it tastes sort of like has kind of like a butterscotch flavor. It's not going to taste like a butterscotch hard candy, so don't get too excited here. It has a hint of butterscotch, so it's a little bit sweet, but this helps to normalize hormone levels, give you energy, improve stamina. So this might be something that you'd want to add to like an energy bite, or one of our favorite recipes we have this is in your bag as well, maca energy bars. These are a no-bake bar using all kinds of nuts and flax seeds and a little bit of maple syrup, almond butter, and pumpkin seeds, a lot of good stuff. You mix it up, you stick it in a container, refrigerate it, and then you cut it into squares and you could have one for breakfast. These are pretty energy dense and they're very satisfying, but it uses maca powder, so it gives it a nice little nice little flavor. Other ways you can get maca, one of the bars that you have in your bag is the Thunderbird bar. This is one of our no added sugar bars that we sell. It's all good, healthy, real food ingredients, the Thunderbird hazelnut coffee maca bar. So this isn't something you want to eat right before bed because it does have a little bit of caffeine in it. So maybe tomorrow morning. But there's some maca built into this bar. So there's another way to get that. And then the last functional food that I want to talk about here is astragalus, but we're also going to layer mushroom powder to this because astragalus and mushroom powder, and I saved this for last for a very good reason, really important for the immune system. So immune system, without a well-functioning, healthy immune system, we've got nothing, right? We've got nothing. I mean, our immune systems are everything. And I think we realize this more and more between 2020, 2021 with the whole COVID thing. Immune system was the buzz, right? Immune health was the buzz, how to boost your immune system. And while the best way to do it is whole food, plant-based diet, lots of vegetables, lots of fibers from fruits and beans, and whole food plant foods, right? That's a great way to boost your immune system. But if you're looking to add a powder to that, astragalus is a plant that's native to northern and eastern China, and this is a really important one for helping to support and strengthen your immune system. In fact, I'll share with you a little story. The reason why I'm so serious about my health now, serious in a good way, and why I've added a lot of these powders is back in 2022, I received a startling cancer diagnosis that I didn't see coming because I'm healthy. The heck? Where did this come from? I'm good now, everything's great, my health is amazing, but I really believe in the power of food. So I took my health and my food and my habits to a whole other level because I was like, wow, okay, so apparently with a cancer diagnosis, we all have cancer cells in our bodies, every single one of us. And our immune systems, if strong enough, should be able to fight those off, no problem. And mine didn't. And I was kind of sad about that. I was like, well, what wasn't I doing to support my immune system? And, so I started doing, more smoothies and powders and more vegetables and all of that good stuff. And I started doing it fearfully. Have you ever gotten a diagnosis and you're like, oh my gosh, and it's just this awful feeling, and you're like, I gotta do all these things, I gotta cut this out. And I started doing that, and I was making all these changes, and I'm like, after about 2 weeks, I said, I can't do this. I can't come from a place of fear. This isn't gonna work for me for the rest of my life. I'm only 40, how old am I? Just turned 49. At the time I was 47. Like, I can't live the rest of my life like this. So I made a really firm decision, powered by prayer, that I'm coming from a place of faith, not fear, with my food choices. And I'm going to feed my body, not perfectly, but I'm going to feed it like it's the temple that it is. It may not be perfect, it's far from perfect. And that goes for all of you here. You don't have to have a perfect body to treat your body like a temple, that it is. It's a gift. So that's why I put 4 or 5 powders in my smoothie. That's part of the reason. But astragalus was a big one because when I started doing research, this one kept coming up for immune health. And I'm like, okay, and then all these other things, I'm going to add a little bit of astragalus to my smoothie. And but you could put this in anything, in your salad dressing. You could whisk it in, marinara sauces. However you want to do it, you can add something like this, and then mushroom powder as well. This is a really big one for immune health. Mushroom powder is just a really versatile, good superfood that it checks a lot of boxes. So whether it's Bare Organics or we sell Ohm mushroom powder, 4-sigmatic mushroom powder. Be like me, shop the sales. I'm so cheap that I'll just go and I'll look for the green. I work for Heinen's and I get a discount. I'm still shopping those greens tags. Anything that we sell is going to be top notch. So if it's not a Bare Organics line, any other lines that we sell is going to be just as good. And I do want to share that when you look at these containers and you're like, okay, I need more ideas, they have a little QR code on every jar of the Bare Organics, and if you scan that with your phone, it takes you to their website and it gives you recipe ideas of what to do with these powders if you don't want to use a smoothie or use any of the other ideas that I shared with you. But other ways to get turmeric, I mean, the tea that you're sampling is from Yogi Tea. It's an organic turmeric tea with black pepper in it, but it also has clove and cardamom and ginger and cinnamon, so it's a nice little comforting blend, but that has a good amount of turmeric in that as well. We sell different types of mushroom powders that you could use, like mushroom coffee. You know, these are like instant. You could add it to hot water. There's lots of ways to get these in, and of course the little bars if you want something sweet but good for you. To get these in. But there's no wrong way to do this, and what I would suggest is you don't go out and you buy 10 of these. You have in your bag, everything I shared with you is on this handout here, the benefits of functional food powders. So if you're looking for, you know, a specific need to fulfill a specific need, check out, you know, the handout and then wait for the sale and buy one and give it a try. Well, thanks so much, everybody, for joining me. This was fun. I hope you learned something. Thank you. Thank you.